Welcome to this channel. In this video, we are going to explain the Thaat system used in Hindustani classical music. We are also going to present a simple and illustrative method of remembering each of these thoughts and which swaras they take. We'll also show you the flute positions required to play each thought. Both Western classical and Indian classical music have two things in common. Firstly, both of them divide the octave into 12 semitones or seminotes, half notes. Secondly, the major scales used in Western music and Indian music are all heptatonic. That means they take 7 notes. In Indian music, these are sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. A major difference is that in Western classical music, the notes are fixed frequencies. C means a particular frequency, D means a particular frequency, etc. In Indian music, the performer can choose his own base frequency, which he uses as sa, and then all the other notes are built up from that sa. Now, if that sa is chosen as C, then the 12 notes, the Hindustani names for these 12 notes can be described by the presentation below, which shows piano keys. In the Hindustani Thaat system, there are certain rules in developing the 7-note Raga scales. Firstly, the notes sa and pa are constant for all the ragas and scales, and they're present always. Ma can be of two types, Shuddha ma or Tivra ma. Re can be of two types, Shuddha re or Komal re. Ga can be of two types, Shuddha ga or Komal ga. And Da can be of two types, Shuddha da and Komal da. Ni can be of two types, Shuddha ni, Komal ni. For Re, Ga, Da, Ni, the Shuddha notes are higher by a half note than the Komal notes. For Ma, the Tivra Ma is higher than the Shuddha Ma. So each raga in the Thaat system is basically a combination of Re, Ga, Da, Ni and Ma. In order to understand these different scales, let us build a raga scale visualization scheme. Think of a raga as the dress a person wears, consisting of pants, shirt, and cap. The pants, shirts, and cap come in different colors. Each raga is represented by one color combination. Let the Re-Ga combination present the pant color. Let the Da-Ni combination represent the shirt color. Let Ma represent the cap color. As there are 2 Re and 2 Ga possible, this means that there are 4 possible combinations for pants as follows. Komal Re plus Komal Ga, Komal Re plus Shuddha Ga, Shuddha Re plus Komal Ga, and Shuddha Re plus Shuddha Ga. These are the 4 possible Re-Ga combinations in the Hindustani Thaat system. Similarly, as there are 2 Da and 2 Ni possible, again you have 4 possible combinations reflecting the exact combinations of Komal and Shuddha, Da and Ni, mirroring what has happened with the Re-Ga combinations. Now let's take a look at what we have in our Thaat wardrobe closet. We've got 4 pairs of pants, 4 shirts. We also have 2 different caps, and these caps represent Shuddha Ma and Tivra Ma. So the total pant, shirt, cap combinations is basically 4 times 4 times 2, which gives you 32. So under the system, there's a possible maximum 32 scales. However, the originator of this Thaat system, his name is V.N. Bhatkhande, who developed this in the early 1900s, only took into account 10 of these because only these reflected the scales that were commonly used then. Bhatkhande's 10 scales are as follows: Bilaval, Khamaj, Kafi, Asaveri, Bhairavi, Kalyan, Thodi, Purvi, Marwa, and Bhairav. Now we'll take a more detailed look at each of these 10 scales. The first raga scale we're going to look at in this Thaat system is Rag Bilaval. Bilaval takes all Shuddh notes. The Ma, Da, Ni, Re, Ga are all Shuddh. You would remember from the previous slide that each of these notes, Re, Ga, Da, Ni, Ma, can be of two different types. Here in Bilaval, the Re, Ga, Da, Ni are all the higher notes, whereas the Ma is the lower notes. This raga corresponds to the Western major scale, and this is a scale that you'll find in many cultures around the world. It is probably the most widely used scale worldwide. In the South Indian Carnatic system, this scale is also referred to as MELAKARTA number 29, also known as Dhira Shankara Bharanam. Now, if we take our Sa as the frequency C, then these notes, the notes taken by Bilaval, can be represented by the white keys on a piano keyboard as shown below. You might notice that there is a certain symmetry about this raga. The Re, Ga are the same distance from Sa as the Da, Ni is to the Pa. So there's a symmetry between the Re, Ga combination and the Da, Ni combination. And in our visualization scheme, this is readily apparent because both the shirt and the pant are the same colors. Now, there are some other ragas that are symmetrical, and you'll readily recognize them when you see that both shirt and pant colors are the same. The grid on the right shows the finger positions for playing this raga on a bansuri. In a bansuri, the Sa is generally produced by closing the top 3 holes. C stands for closed holes, O stands for open holes. H stands for a hole that is half closed. Generally for beginners, the holes that are half closed are the most difficult to play. Here for Bilaval, only the Ma note is half closed. Now let us see how this raga sounds. The second in our list is Khamaj. Here in Khamaj, this is different from Bilaval with respect to only one note, and that is the Ni is flattened. It is the Komal Ni. If you take C as Sa, then this can be represented on a piano keyboard as follows. Only the Ni operates the black key. This scale also corresponds to the Western Mixolydian scale. This Mixolydian scale is an ancient Greek scale. In the South Indian Carnatic system, this is represented by MELAKARTA number 28, also known as Harikambodi. When you're playing Khamaj on a bansuri, the ma and the ni are produced by half closing the relevant hole. Now let's see what Khamaj sounds like. The third one on our list is Kafi. Here, Kafi is similar to Khamaj, but the ga is komal, or this is the lower of the two gas. This can be represented on a piano scale if you take sa as the note C by these scales. Now, the ga and the ni are the black keys. This scale is often referred to in the West as the Greek Dorian scale. In the South Indian Carnatic system, this is MELAKARTA number 22, also known as Karahara Priya. In playing the bansuri, the ga, the ma, and the ni are played with one of the holes being half closed. Let us listen to the scale of Kafi Thaat. In Asaveri Thaat, one more note is komal, and that note is the komal dha. So the komal notes are lower in frequency. On the piano keyboard, with sa as taken as C, this is represented as follows. The sa, re, ma, pa, and sa are white notes, and the ga, dha, ni are the black notes. In a bansuri, there are 4 holes that need to be halfway closed to produce ga, ma, da, ni. Asaveri Thaat corresponds to the South Indian MELAKARTA number 20, also called as Nata Bhairavi. This is Asaveri Thaat. Next is Bhairavi Thaat. Bhairavi, as you'll probably know, is one of the most frequently played ragas, and it's often described as the king of the ragas. In Bhairavi, all the notes re, ga, dha, ni are all komal, so they're all the lower notes, which means that when you play on a flute, on a bansuri, the re, ga, ma, da, ni all need to be played with one of the holes half closed. For a beginner, Bhairavi is one of the more difficult ragas to play on a bansuri exactly because of this. You'll note that the shirt and pant colors are the same, so Bhairavi is also a symmetrical raga because both Rega and Dani are komal combinations. On a piano scale with Sa as C, the Re, Ga, Da, Ni are played by the black notes. This scale is also known in the West as the Greek Phrygian scale. In the South Indian Carnatic system, this is MELAKARTA number 8 or Hanumat Todi. Interestingly, several centuries ago, this raga was actually called Todi. So the Carnatic system still retains that old name. Todi in the Hindustani Thaat system, you will see, is a totally different Thaat. Now let's hear the scale of Bhairavi played. Next is Kalyan Thaat. Now here we go back to Bilaval, and in Bilaval, if we change the Ma to Tivra from Shuddha Ma, then you get Kalyan Thaat. All the other notes are the same as Bilaval. So this is also a symmetrical raga because the Da, Ni and Re, Ga are all the same Shuddha combinations. In Western music, this is called the Greek Lydian scale. In the Carnatic system of South, this is MELAKARTA number 65 or Mecha Kalyani. On a piano keyboard, the only black key to be used is the Ma. Everything else is the white key. Now Kalyan or Yaman is one of the ragas that are easier to play on a bansuri because there are no half-closed holes. They're all either closed or completely open. Now let's hear the scale of Kalyan Thaat. Now let us look at what is currently called Todi Thaat is structured. Here the Ma is Tivra as in Yemen, but the three of the notes are Komal, the Da, Re, Ga, but the Ni is Shuddha. So on a piano keyboard using C as Sa, 4 black keys need to be pressed for the Re, Ga, Ma and Da. What is interesting is that the Ni, Sa, Re are bunched together, as is Ma, Pa, Da, whereas Ga is standing alone. In the South Indian Carnatic system, this is referred to as the MELAKARTA number 45, also known as Shubhapantu Erali. In playing this on the bansuri, the Re, Ga and Da need half-closed holes. Now let's see what Todi sounds like. Next is Purvi Thaat. Here Purvi is different from the Todi Thaat in only in one aspect, and that is that the Ga is Shuddha Ga, the higher Ga. So in a piano scale, piano keyboard, 3 of the notes are the black notes. In the South Indian system, this is referred to as MELAKARTA 51 or Panturali or Kamavardhani. On a bansuri, the re and dha need half closed finger. Now let's listen to this. You would have noticed that the last raga, Purvi, was a symmetrical raga in both that the pant and the shirt were the same colors, yellow. Here, for Marva Thaat, the pants are the same, that is, it's the same Re-Ga combination, but instead of the Komal Da, we have Shuddha Da. You can also view this rag as something like Yaman, except that the Re is the Komal Re. That is the only difference between Yaman and Marva. In the Carnatic system, this is called MELAKARTA number 53 or Purvi Kalyani. The Carnatic name Purvi Kalyani seems like it's a combination of Purvi and Kalyan, which it really is. When playing Marva on the bansuri, only the Re, that is the third hole from the top, needs to be half closed. Now let's listen to the Marva Thaat scale. The 10th or the last Thaat to explore is Bhairav. The name sounds very much like Bhairavi, but it's nothing like Bhairavi. It's called Bhairav. Here in Bhairav, it's again, this is a symmetrical raga because the Da-Ni combination is the same Komal Shuddha combination as the Riga combination. On the piano keyboard here, only the Re and the Da are the black keys. This is a raga that is quite much of Arabic music is in this particular scale. In the Carnatic system, this is referred to as MELAKARTA number 15 or Mai Mala. In a bansuri, the notes Re, Ma, and Da use half-closed holes. Now let's listen to the Bhairav scale. On a concluding note, the South Indian Carnatic MELAKARTA scale system, in that if you look at the MELAKARTA Closet, that has an additional 2 Raga combinations and additional 2 Dhani combinations. And in total, there's a possibility of 72 Raga scales. Perhaps more of this on another video presentation.